Hey everybody, I'm Oakley at Oakley Does Everything, and today we're going to be working on the hardware for our 2021 Great Guitar Build-Off guitar. Stay tuned. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is return our attention back to the body and our front brass plate. Now the things I want to start off with are things like drilling holes for our jack plate, where our bridge and tailpiece are going to go, as well as getting the holes drilled for our screws that are going to be holding the brass plate in piece. I think that's probably going to be the first thing I start with. So let's get to it. Now I am moving on to the knobs and the jack plate. So I have to drill some holes out of the plate, and this is the layout that I'm going with. I think I like this. We're going to have to drill a large enough hole so that that can fit down in it, and then we'll drill our holes for our fastener screws. And for the knobs, we're going to use the step drill bit and drill down just far enough so that the tuning knob and the tone knob can fit up through there. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and do the tuning machines for our headstock. And the way I'm going to do that is I made a template, the same template that I used to cut out the shapes as well as the inlays for the headstock. I went and punched a center point in each of my holes, and so I'm just going to lay this over top of it, use my awl to push a pin into it, get a little divot in there, and then we're going to go over to the drill press. We're going to drill a pilot hole all the way through, and then rather than taking the full diameter and just drilling all the way through, we're actually going to drill about halfway through on each side, and what that's going to do is prevent blowout. What blowout is when you drill all the way through something and on the opposite side it ends up chipping out some material. So we really want to prevent that. So all for our center point, then a pilot hole, and then for our full diameter halfway through on each side. So I thought I would take a second to explain what I've been doing. So I've just been trying to make sure that everything lines up well and has enough clearance. So I set those up there. Obviously they're side heavy, so they kept tipping over. So I put these shims there to kind of support them up. And I think I came up with the correct placement. I'm gonna go ahead and think on it just a little bit longer before I drill them, just to make sure that that's really what I want. But so far it's looking pretty good. Alright, so just to fill you in, I did have a very bad moment that wasn't caught on camera, and that is I had a little bit of a blowout on one of my tuning machine holes. And as you can see, that shouldn't look like that. Here I do have the piece. I'm gonna attempt to glue it back on to try and get it back in place. I guess I was just a little too close to the edge and it gave way. That shouldn't be too much of a surprise when dealing with wood and having such a small tolerance. The plan is I'm gonna try and glue that back together. If that doesn't work and hold when I go to drill this out, I'll probably just have to go resolve to something like Bondo, or maybe cutting this piece of wood out and gluing another piece in as a replacement piece, but we'll see. I haven't decided yet. I'm first going to start with glue and see how that does. All right, while that glue sits, I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting the bridge and the tailpiece lined up. I'm gonna go ahead and put the neck onto the guitar, and then we'll measure out our 25.5 inches and then go ahead and start working with drilling the holes for that. All right, so right now I am waiting on a few things, and so what I think I want to do is actually go ahead and work on the screws that are going to go from underneath the guitar up into the neck pocket. So this area, and the way I'm going to do that is just going drill 4 holes in this area right here, do a pilot hole all the way through, and then we'll set the neck on top of it and then make a mark up through the bottom and then continue to drill through it that way. So that's what I'm going to do next. Now on to frets, and then I think that's it for hardware, so let's get to it. Okay, so here we have the guitar, and it is all assembled and looking really good. I did this because I just wanted to get a visual representation of what I'm working with, what I still have to do, see if there's any hardware that actually needs to be switched out. For example, this washer and nut are chrome or just steel colored. And I want to see if I'm able to find a black nut and washer that size. And then these guys right here, the bolts that raise and lower the pickups, I want to see if I can find some that are brass to just contrast the black that is all around here. And then obviously just to see how cool it is, because this is pretty much it in terms of visualization. I am gonna paint it, so the headstock's all gonna get painted black. The body's all gonna get painted black. Some of the neck is going to get painted black. So for example, down here in this pocket, I might paint some of this black. I don't want this all to be black because I want some contrast from the fretboard to the neck. So I made a list of things that I need to do. I'm not gonna record all of it. Some of them are kind of tedious, and so I'll do that off camera. For example, leveling the frets. That always seems to take me forever, so I'm not gonna put you all through that. But I'm just gonna start going through my list, and anything that is important, I'll tune you into. All right, just gonna acid etch my neck pocket plate. So I had this old sticker with my logo on it, and then I cut out some other parts of it, so it's got these lines going through it. So we're just gonna throw that in here and pour some of that in there as well. Now we just let that sit for about an hour and a half. All right, about an hour and a half later, we're just gonna go ahead and submerge this into some baking soda water. Now we remove the tape. And after a rough polish, this is what it looks like. We got some more polishing to do on it. We are gonna go ahead and solder all the electronics. I have my plate, and the cool thing about this project and the way I'm doing it is that I can just have all of my electronics on my brass plate and use it to solder everything. So I'm super excited about this. I will have to remove all of these components afterwards so that I can polish and do all the final touches to the brass and the paint. But this is really nice in terms of knowing how much distance from one pot to the other and the pickups, wiring. It's kind of nice to have it all on the plate and then just kind of set it in. Alright everybody, that is going to be it for this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. We got a ton of stuff done. We got the frets done, we got the tuning machines in, we got all the electronics soldered up. Everything is in place and ready to go for prep and paint. So that's going to be our next video, so make sure you tune in to watch that one as well. Again, if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. And while you're at it, hit the like button, leave a comment. If you just want to say guitar or something like that, that would be helpful too. But other than that, we'll see everybody on the next video. Have a great day. Bye.